This is my ranking of horror games that I've played based purely on my personal experience. Each one is placed from masterpiece to trash, depending on how scary the atmosphere feels, how strong the tension is, and how well the gameplay supports the horror. Let's get straight into the list. Amnesia: The Bunker takes place inside a World War I military bunker, where I played as a French soldier trying to escape after a mysterious creature wiped out most of the men stationed there. The game revolves around exploring connected sections of the bunker, searching for key items, solving environmental puzzles, and managing limited resources while a deadly monster constantly hunts through the walls. A generator powers the lights, but fuel is scarce, forcing me to decide when to stay safe and when to risk moving through darkness. Weapons and tools offer several ways to overcome obstacles, yet ammunition is limited and the creature cannot be permanently stopped. Notes and documents slowly reveal what happened to the soldiers and explain the monster's origin. This one lands in the Great tier. Resident Evil 4 follows Leon Kennedy as he travels to a remote Spanish village to rescue the president's daughter, only to uncover a deadly parasite infecting the local population. The game blends action and horror through fast-paced combat, resource management, exploration, and constant encounters with dangerous enemies that adapt in different ways. I was always switching between weapons, conserving ammunition, searching for treasures, upgrading gear through the merchant, and reacting to threats that rarely allowed a single strategy to work for long. The campaign constantly introduces new locations, enemy types, bosses, and set pieces, keeping every chapter feeling different from the last. The story moves quickly from village to castle to laboratory while steadily raising the stakes and revealing the truth behind Las Plagas. This belongs in the masterpiece tier without any hesitation. Alien Isolation puts me in the role of Amanda Ripley, as she searches a massive space station for answers about her missing mother, only to become trapped with a deadly xenomorph. The game focuses heavily on stealth, exploration, resource management, and survival, rather than direct combat. Most of my time was spent moving carefully through dark corridors, tracking objectives, hacking systems, crafting useful items, and avoiding a creature that could appear almost anywhere. The motion tracker became an important tool, but relying on it too much could easily create new problems. Human survivors, hostile androids, and environmental hazards added extra threats beyond the alien itself. Audio design, atmosphere, and detailed environments constantly built tension, while the story uncovered the station's collapse and Amanda's struggle to escape alive. This settles into the good tier. Little Nightmares 2 puts me in control of Mono, a young boy trapped in a disturbing world filled with twisted adults, strange creatures, and unsettling locations. The journey revolves around platforming, stealth, environmental puzzles, and escaping enemies that can easily catch you if you are spotted. 6 accompanies much of the adventure, helping move through the world while the story gradually reveals the connection between the two characters. Each area introduces its own threats, from a relentless hunter in the wilderness to a terrifying teacher whose neck stretches across entire rooms. I spent most of the game sneaking through dangerous spaces, solving simple puzzles, and reacting to tense chase sequences where timing mattered more than combat. The dark atmosphere and memorable ending place this game in the excellent tier. The Quarry begins with 9 summer camp counselors stranded for one final night after camp ends, unaware that multiple dangers are lurking in the woods around them. The story unfolds through a series of choices that can drastically change relationships, important events, and who survives until sunrise. I controlled different characters throughout the night, making dialogue decisions, exploring locations, reacting to quick-time events, and dealing with tense situations where a single mistake could have major consequences. The game slowly reveals several interconnected mysteries while shifting between horror, suspense, and dark humor. Its branching narrative encouraged me to pay attention to clues and character interactions, because small decisions often carried surprising consequences later. The combination of memorable characters and choice-driven storytelling earns this game a place in the great tier. Fatal Frame Mask of the Lunar Eclipse begins when several young women return to a remote island years after surviving a mysterious tragedy that erased much of their memories. As the story unfolds, I explored abandoned buildings, searched for clues, solved environmental puzzles, and uncovered the truth behind the island's disturbing past. The main mechanic revolves around the camera obscura, a supernatural camera used to fight ghosts by photographing them at the right moment. Every encounter forced me to face enemies directly instead of running away, creating constant tension throughout the adventure. Dark hallways, unsettling sound design, and sudden supernatural events kept the atmosphere oppressive from beginning to end. Between the eerie mystery, challenging ghost encounters, and memorable setting, I ended up placing this game in the good tier. Days Gone tells the story of Deacon St. John, a drifter trying to survive in a post-apocalyptic Oregon filled with hostile survivors and infected creatures known as freakers. Exploration, scavenging, crafting, shooting, stealth, and motorcycle travel form the core of the experience as I moved between camps, completed missions, and uncovered the truth behind Deacon's past. Managing fuel, ammunition, and supplies added extra tension, especially when traveling through dangerous areas packed with enemies. The world constantly presented unexpected threats, from ambushes on the road to massive hordes capable of overwhelming me in seconds. Character relationships and camp politics gradually expanded the story beyond simple survival, creating a longer journey with plenty of twists along the way. My ranking places this adventure in the great tier. Dying Light the Beast brings back Kyle Crane, who escapes years of captivity and sets out for revenge against the scientist responsible for horrific experiments on him. Survival depends on a mix of parkour, melee combat, exploration, crafting, and scavenging as I traveled across an open region filled with infected creatures and hostile survivors. Movement felt fast and flexible, allowing me to climb buildings, leap across rooftops, and escape danger when fights became overwhelming. New abilities tied to Crane's mutations added extra power during combat, while weapons, firearms, and vehicles expanded the ways I could approach different situations. The story gradually uncovers the secrets behind the experiments and the monsters created by them. After weighing its strengths and weaknesses, I place this one in the good tier. SOMA starts with Simon, an ordinary man who unexpectedly finds himself inside an abandoned underwater research facility where reality no longer makes sense. As I explored the station, the story gradually uncovered unsettling questions about consciousness, identity, memory, and what it truly means to be human. Progress came through investigation, environmental puzzles, interacting with computer systems, and navigating dangerous areas occupied by hostile creatures. The deeper I ventured into the facility, the more disturbing the discoveries became, especially when encountering machines that believed they were still living people. Rather than relying entirely on jump scares, the game built tension through atmosphere, isolation, and the uncertainty surrounding every new revelation. Its thought-provoking narrative stayed with me long after the credits rolled, which is why it earns a spot in the excellent tier. Silent Hill F introduces Hinako Shimizu, a teenager whose quiet village becomes consumed by a mysterious fog, grotesque creatures, and manifestations tied to painful memories and personal trauma. Exploration, puzzle solving, resource management, and melee combat drive the experience as I searched abandoned streets, schools, shrines, and homes for answers. The story tackles difficult themes while gradually revealing the truth behind Hinako's family, friends, and the horrors spreading throughout the village. Many of the puzzles required careful observation and attention to clues, often becoming just as important as surviving enemy encounters. The setting stood out because it moved the series to 1960s Japan, creating a different atmosphere from previous entries while still feeling unmistakably Silent Hill. Despite some combat frustrations, I ended up ranking this game in the good tier. Visage opens inside a seemingly ordinary house that slowly reveals itself to be a place filled with disturbing memories, supernatural events, and psychological torment. Across several interconnected chapters, I investigated different stories connected to former residents, while searching for clues, solving puzzles, and trying to maintain sanity in increasingly hostile surroundings. Darkness plays a major role, forcing me to rely on candles, light sources, and careful exploration to avoid dangerous encounters. The house constantly changes in subtle and unsettling ways, making even familiar hallways feel threatening. Strange sounds, shifting environments, and unpredictable supernatural events created tension without needing constant action or combat. Its atmosphere remained the strongest part of the experience, delivering fear through anticipation rather than spectacle. In my rankings, this horror adventure finds its place in the Great Tier. The Midnight Walk introduces a strange world crafted entirely from clay, where I journey alongside a small companion named Potboy toward the distant Moon Mountain. The adventure blends exploration, environmental puzzles, stealth sequences, and storytelling across a series of unique locations filled with unusual characters and hidden secrets. Fire serves as a central mechanic, allowing me to light pathways, activate machinery, solve puzzles, and interact with the environment in creative ways. Another unique ability lets me close my eyes to uncover hidden sounds, locate important objects, and reveal pathways that would otherwise remain invisible. The stop-motion presentation gives every creature, building, and landscape a distinctive, handcrafted appearance that constantly stands out. Thanks to its memorable world, emotional narrative, and creative design, this game earns its place in the excellent tier. Cronos: The New Dawn unfolds in a future devastated by a catastrophic event known as the Change, where I control a mysterious traveler sent to recover important souls from the past in hopes of rebuilding humanity. Exploration, resource management, puzzle solving, and third-person survival horror combat shaped the experience as I moved between a ruined future and 1980s Poland during the outbreak's earliest days. Ammunition and crafting materials remained limited, forcing me to think carefully about every encounter. The most memorable mechanic involved enemies called orphans, which could merge with fallen bodies and become even more dangerous if I failed to destroy them quickly. Safe rooms, weapon upgrades, challenging bosses, and a constantly oppressive atmosphere kept tension high throughout the journey. This easily secures a place in the excellent tier. The Last of Us Part 2 continues Ellie's journey in a brutal post-pandemic world, where revenge, loss, and survival drive the story forward. Exploration, stealth, crafting, combat, and resource management are woven into large environments that encouraged me to search every building for supplies, upgrades, and story details. Encounters felt tense because enemies reacted intelligently, communicated with each other, and forced me to constantly adapt my approach. Whether sneaking through abandoned streets, battling infected creatures, or fighting hostile groups, every confrontation carried weight due to the game's realistic animations and impactful combat. The narrative explores multiple perspectives and difficult moral choices, revealing how violence affects everyone involved, rather than presenting simple heroes and villains. Among all the games on this list, this firmly belongs in the masterpiece tier. Alan Wake 2 begins with FBI agent Saga Anderson investigating a series of murders in Bright Falls, while Alan Wake remains trapped inside a terrifying reality shaped by stories and darkness. The game combines survival horror, detective work, exploration, puzzles, and combat as I switched between both characters and uncovered the connection between their journeys. Saga's investigation relied on gathering clues, organizing evidence, and profiling key individuals, while Alan manipulated reality itself by rewriting scenes to create new paths forward. Combat required careful resource management, with light playing a crucial role in weakening supernatural enemies before they could be defeated. Optional puzzles, hidden upgrades, and collectibles encouraged thorough exploration across both worlds. Thanks to its unforgettable storytelling, creativity, and atmosphere, this easily stands among my masterpiece tier selections. Routine sends me to a lunar facility called Union Plaza after a security system failure, only to discover an abandoned resort filled with malfunctioning machines and unsettling mysteries. Exploration, stealth, environmental puzzles, and survival mechanics drive the experience as I searched dark corridors for clues while avoiding hostile robotic threats. The game provides very little guidance, forcing me to pay close attention to terminals, documents, sounds, and environmental details to understand both the story and the path forward. A multi-purpose tool known as the Cat became essential for solving puzzles, accessing systems, and navigating dangerous situations. Limited resources, manual save stations, and the inability to permanently eliminate enemies kept tension high throughout the journey. Despite a few frustrating moments, I ultimately ranked this atmospheric horror experience in the good tier. Tormented Souls 2 continues Caroline Walker's story as she searches for a way to save her sister Anna from mysterious visions that have begun affecting reality itself. Exploration, resource management, puzzle solving, and survival horror combat form the core of the experience as I navigated interconnected locations filled with dangerous creatures and hidden secrets. Fixed camera angles return once again, creating tension through clever viewpoints while making every hallway and room feel unpredictable. Limited ammunition, manual saves, and careful inventory management encouraged me to think before every encounter rather than simply fighting everything in sight. The puzzles often required multiple steps and close attention to environmental details, making progression feel rewarding whenever I discovered a solution. Between its strong level design and classic survival horror structure, this comfortably fits within the great tier. That's my tier list ranking for horror games I played recently. I hope you liked it, and I'll see you in the next one.